This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
What's up, guys? So I'm back with another Fallout 4 guns and weapons video. It feels like it's been at least a month or two since I last made one of these, but today I figured I'd talk about some bad weapons that might be a fun project for the developers over at Bethesda Game Studios, or that our industrious modding community could attempt to tackle and try to fix. I did a similar and more sarcastic version of this video for Borderlands 2, however I figured I'd do a more serious video today. Now, this isn't going to cover every single awful weapon in Fallout 4. These are just some of the bad weapons that I could think of some tangible improvements for. So I'll tell you why they're bad, and then I will give you some advice on how I think they could be improved in the future. So without further ado, these are the top 6 bad guns and weapons that need a buff in Fallout 4. Number 6, the assault rifle. So the assault rifle is technically superior to many of the other rifles in Fallout 4's vanilla game, as well as its DLC. Now, provided you use the stock ammo available for all rifles, the assault rifle is again technically better than both the combat and hunting rifles. However, while you retain higher magazine sizes, better reload speed, and fire rate, in terms of damage per shot, the assault rifle is outdone by both the hunting rifle and combat rifle, as both weapons can use different ammo types. There are also unique variants of the combat rifle. The Overseer's Guardian is a great example, and then there's also the December's Child, which allows you to use the very same 5.56 ammo like an assault rifle. Though it's a little bit weaker as a semi-auto weapon, it is a better automatic weapon. I think the assault rifle really should get access to other ammo types. The lack of ammo versatility is really kind of bad. Maybe a 308 assault rifle would make it a little bit better, or maybe you could have even some more like obscure ammo types, like a 45 caliber version, maybe a 38 caliber version. That would be pretty cool. Number 5, the Flamer. Now, I have been known to really hate the Flamer, and a lot of that just has to do with its viability in VATS. And maybe it's just me, but it seems like the Flamer constantly glitches while you're trying to use VATS. Or what will happen is you'll use VATS, and then you'll try to use it like normal, and then it won't deal damage to enemies. I also find it strange that as a weapon, and you progressively upgrade it, that the range of the Flamer or Napalmer is significantly reduced. And it's kind of bizarre because you start off with decent range, however over time the range goes from crappy to worse pretty quickly. And depending on how you look at it, you're almost better off not upgrading the Flamer because it'll actually make it worse. Really what I think the Flamer needs is for the range to either change or stay the same as you upgrade it and make it stronger. That way there's a tangible benefit to improving the Flamer's damage, and you don't lose out on all of that range. In general, though, I think the burn effects could be a little bit stronger. They're good for early enemies in the game, but are virtually useless once you fight high-level enemies and legendary enemies. And this also goes for the incendiary legendary weapon effect. Like, the flame damage over time is just really weak and is almost not even worth it. Number 4, the Assaultron Blade. This melee sword really just needs bleed damage, like many of the other melee weapons that are available to the player in Fallout 4. You could even lower the damage of the Assaultron Blade and give it an armor penetration customization that would make it more effective against armored enemies like Mirelurks or Brotherhood soldiers. And this actually may even make it better up against robots, which would fit with the DLC as you're fighting a bunch of robots and heavily armored Rust Devils throughout the Automatron DLC. Before level 15, it's better than the Chinese Officer Sword. However, after level 15, and as soon as you are able to start the Automatron DLC, the Assaultron Blade is actually worse because of its lack of upgrades. And you know what also would probably help the Assaultron Blade is if you gave it lower weight, which would make it a better alternative to the Chinese Officer Sword, which is currently the best melee weapon with a medium attack speed in Fallout 4 right now. Number 3, the lever action rifle. So there are really two problems with this gun. The first has to do with the 45-70 caliber ammo. Now, this isn't really as much of an issue in like other difficulties, like other than survival mode. However, once you hit survival mode, ammo starts to have weight, and 45-70 ammo is extremely heavy for the amount of damage that it deals. And provided you fire 1 pound of ammo and you always hit your target, you're going to be dealing about 490 to 1092 damage before upgrades. And if you contrast this with like a 308 combat rifle, which is dealing 1368 damage per pound of ammo fired, I mean, you can really see that the lever action rifle is actually inferior to the 308 combat rifle, despite the fact that the lever action rifle has higher base damage when fully upgraded. It's also worth mentioning that the lever action rifle also has one of the most gimped reload animations known to man. If you fire one bullet and then hit the reload button, the reload animation pretends you emptied the magazine and proceeds to put 5 new bullets into the gun. And, you know, this really needs to be fixed, as it really hinders the possibility of anyone using this weapon for practical purposes. How would I fix the lever action rifle? Well, I would lower the ammo weight, and I think that would help a little bit. If it weighed like 15 to 20% less as far as ammo goes, it might actually be on par with a 308 caliber combat rifle. In fact, it might even be a little bit better than a 308 caliber combat rifle. And the other thing is, obviously, I would fix the god-awful reload animation, because I think if you did just those two things, a lot more people would be using the lever action rifle in survival mode. Number 2, the missile launcher. This is another weapon that just seems really underpowered for what it is. Only 150 damage before perks is really low, and while you get the targeting computer upgrade, it doesn't make the launcher any more powerful. And for survival mode specifically, rockets are simply way too heavy for the amount of damage that they deal. 7 pounds just to deal 150 damage is pathetic. Even as ammo inefficient as the broadsider is, it at least deals 108 damage for just 1 pound of ammo. And really, the missile launcher needs something. Maybe like craftable or modified missiles would do the trick, especially if you had the ability to create missiles based on the various types of grenades and mines that the player can create. That would actually be really cool. So maybe you've had something like pulse, plasma, bottle cap, or just like some kinds of missiles based on those types of explosive weapons. It would really make the missile launcher a lot better, especially if the damage numbers from their respective grenades and mines that they're based off of carried over. So in the case of like plasma and bottle cap versions, you're doubling the damage of the missile launcher. Another thing that might help for survival mode specifically, if there was a way to bring down the weight of each missile down a little bit. That way you could take it down to like 4 to 5 pounds. And that, I think, would make the missile launcher a little bit better for survival mode. Number 1, the flare gun. Alright guys, I've had like 2 dislike bombed videos already about the flare gun. Maybe I shouldn't mention it in this episode, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Now, the flare gun can be feasibly used like a weapon as it is now, even though it does measly amounts of damage in VATS and is extremely impractical, and I guess the argument is made that it's used to signal the Minutemen to help you, not to be used as a weapon. But I think something that's worth mentioning is that the Fallout 4's flare gun looks somewhat identical to the World War II German Kampfpistole Z, which was a real-world weapon that was kind of like a flare gun that fired grenades. And fun fact, if you've played Wolfenstein the Old Blood, the Kampfpistole is in that game, and it's sort of like this pistol, rocket, or grenade launcher. It's pretty cool. I think it would be pretty cool if you could use the flare gun as kind of like this makeshift grenade launcher. Maybe the projectile would do about 100 damage or so, and would weigh anywhere between like half a pound or 2 pounds. Really, I think this would really kind of change things a lot, and you would be able to have a gun that has like area of effect damage, that's a pistol, and it's explosive, and it benefits from both the Demolition Expert perk as well as the Gunslinger perk, and you could get the thing boosted up to like 400 damage. I just think that would be pretty cool. Anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, and as always, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.